just say welcome to Elite and you're in good hands. Plastic, ha? Okay, my respect to Mentor Ranil and Jonaline and to the rest of the Blanco clans. And it is my privilege then as well that I am included within the outer limits of the family, no? Because I'm also a Blanco myself. So, pakpaka na to ang Blanco. I would also like to say, say good evening and maayong gabi sa tanan, directors, tanan nga nairanggo diri, ato ang mga associates, and even ang atong mga invites. Pakpakan sa nato. So, ako di ay, they mentioned Dr. Norman Blanco, but apparently, with comparison with Dr. Noval, si Dr. Noval maka-issue mo isang resita, kami mga quack doctors. Bitaw, kidding aside, we are in the education side, and so my doctoral degree is more of Doctor of Public Administration. And I also had Masters in Public Administration, diretso na lang for verticalization. So, yes, and part of my journey at the Department of Education, I'm the current Education Program Specialist and also the Alternate Information Officer, meaning to say I handle media relations on behalf of the DepEd Cebu Province Division. And so I handle both print and broadcast media. So we are constantly having press conferences, press briefing with Sunstar, Super Balita, and all the rest of the media outlets. And as far as my part-time as well, I'm also connected with the University of Southern Philippines at Salinas Drive as a professor for the graduate school. I'm handling educational planning and educational management. And to add up on the third one, why it is very important that I made mention about this, because this would then later would form part of my circle of influence. So we are in our profession, and some of you here are also on your right, on your profession. There are medical professionals, nurses, physical therapists, engineers, architects. So we are on our own circle of influence. So you have your own peers, you have your own colleagues, that is part of your circle of influence. I'm also a member of the Board of Trustees for the USJR Alumni Association. And my journey, since I'm given only 10 minutes, so my journey in USANA, I started out in October 2017 as a USANA user and asked me how I was introduced to USANA. How? I asked them because that was during that time that 2 months prior to that, October 2017, I asked what are the vitamins that probably could boost my memory because I'm having my dissertation in 2 weeks' time. So, ang akong gipangutana, USANA na po to siya, kay daghan na siya, nagsige man siya pamaligya dito sa DepEd. Unya, ingon siya, ako lang ibutang sa imong table, inig-ugma, so what ko kabaw? Pagbutang sa table, kay DepEd lagi, ang ako ang kita, the pair of essentials, unya na siya post-it, 2 gives. Anak, hindi siya ka-simple ang introduction sa USANA, no? 2 gives. So, ingon si ma'am nga, mauto sa DepEd, no? Di kita mabuhi, basta walay utang. So, anak, gina siya. So, 2 gives and 2 pairs, 1 pair. So, duwa-duwa. So, wadyo ko kasabot, kung saan pag-take, no? So, mauto, nangutan ako. And eventually, I ended up being a USANA user in October 2017. And in October 2018, I was invited then by Mentor Ranel, and it was, if my memory serves me well, kaya nag-take naman ko ron o katong Copa Prime, no? There was Leandro, Kinsakdo and the wife, and a whole bunch of team from USANA. And yeah, Ruwen and Gina Rojas was there. Ayun siya nga, ninote siya, sir, kay inikuman ani ka nang pwede na kitang resign sa DepEd. Unya, una ko, kung mo-resign ko, kinsa kay akong i-convince? No? And so, I decided to join in October 2018 as a user and a distributor, but apparently, there were a lot of there were a lot of travels, there were a lot of investigations in the Department of Education. So apparently, napaon. No? So I think I missed out my PPPS. I missed out a lot of travels. There was, I think, Budapest, no? Mentoranel, if I remember it well, Budapest, no? Ganahan ko ato, no? Unya, wala, napaon. But I never failed to be a USANA user because constantly, bisag asa na lang kumupalit, kaya nakalimot, doon ko na budite auto-order no niya na, wala naman po ko ato naka-follow up, eh, wala po na kuan ba, pero sige na lang, move on naman kita ato. So, 2019, 2020, I eventually became USANA users yapon, and in April 2001, in just 1 week, and I'm so glad and I'm so privileged that we have a very nice support system in Elite. I became an achiever and a director. So why I joined USANA? First is health. We in Depth Ed, I'm so proud to say that because of our lifestyle and because of our travels, there's a lack of sleep, huwag yung tulog, tirning, yung ingon rin mo, travel na ka o kamotes, ito ay mga nahitabo dito, travel ka o bantayan, ito ay mga nahitabo dito. So yung anak, no, maglibog ta, asa ka mo travel, sabi mo travel ta north to south, maglibog ka, asa ka matug. So, problema ni sa health because dili maayo ang gap sa among pagtik. Sometimes ang ato ang pamahaw ari na sa las Gs, apas mo ka sa travel. Sometimes also there are inspections, school inspections, na ay mga teachers magpa-promote that you need to be there to observe and check what went wrong, what went right. So, yung ana, ang hectic na schedule, stress, kay pressure kaayo sa babaw, pressure sa ubos. So, mga na siya, health. Matugingon ni ma'am nga, bugat kaayo. So, literal good nga bugat ko. Karon dako-dako naman atong mga tiyan. Second is to help others. How I wish that USANA was there when my nanay and my tatay was still alive. I could have had probably suggested and asked them to take USANA and probably napasiguro sila karon. I was not given that chance to introduce USANA. So, ato na lang sa uban. And so I'm helping now teachers, probably, I'm not yet, yun lang ko probably, kaya sa diagnosis niya. There's sometimes ni mga cancer, inana. So, mga ningan ko ni Mentor Ranel, tagaay ko na ko aning palmetto, kaya marag ko ako nilhan nga, mura na i-prostate. Mura lang, kaya di pa man ko kay bawag. I don't want to speculate sa iyahang history. And of course, we learn and earn in dollars because obviously it will then be converted to peso. And fourth is travel. So I think my goal now, as mentioned by Mentor Ranel, we will be having a goal for Bali, Indonesia.
Wow.
Hopefully, and then God willing, we'll also have Maldives and Athens, Greece.
Oh.
Hopefully, taas kaya akong confidence, pero with the help of our mentors and our coaches, I'm sure that it would not be possible without their help. So, kung dili ganit ko makakuyog sa Athens, at least pakuyugan na lang ko, ako na lang kanang travel organizer, no? Or mag-travel guide. So, I had been in Athens in 2010, and it's very nice. I hope you guys could also visit if there's time pa sa inyong travel puhon. You could go and visit Santorini as well. It's just like 4 to 5 travels. So this is very famous because of Mamma Mia. You've seen the movie Mamma Mia? Yes. Sure. Ang sa may naa dito, beach na, nindot kayo. So, ano lang na siya. So, either you go for success or you go for failure. First is, what are the causes? So I searched on the internet, particularly on entrepreneurship. First yun yung problema is the no money barrier. Kasagaran no, maingon kayo ba ako magkikwarta, di ko mo join ang nga. Kaduha, no time. Kadungog na mga.
Yes.
Tell me, no? And sometimes it's very discouraging Kaning number 3, no family support. Because the very person who probably would need you most in this business sometimes are the very person who would reject you eventually. Agree, disagree?
Agree!
So sakit kayo pamalandungon nga ang imuhang mga relatives mo pa mo tuo nga nagsayang-sayang ra mo kasi imong oras nagsayang-sayang ra gid kasi imong effort, imong kahago, imong kwarta. Ay na pagkailan anak kay scam na sad na. Naon na tanong? Tuo mo anak. Ano mo na sad mo anak? Kanang first, wala ko ni matabang. Kanang second, it's inherent in you. Kanang third, wala sa ko'y matabang because kamong may magsabot sa imong family, sa imong relatives. But probably, on the fourth one, I can probably guide you and build and help build the confidence in you because this is part of our training. Kumayo sa yes, eh?
Yes!
A better team lead is you. No other than. Di ka mo pinpoint sa imong luyo, sa imong atubangan, sa imong kilid. But a better team lead is you. So what is lead? I have heard from Coach Fritz, ingan siya hubuan ang kapa for you to begin with USANA. Yes, I agree because first and foremost, when you took that challenge, first and foremost, you have to listen. Maminaw gid ka? Yes. Naminaw mo?
Yes!
Plastic, ha?
Plastic.
Oh, you have to listen. And no matter what our profession is, no matter what our business is, no matter what our position in life, we have to listen because we are new to this. No?
Yes.
And the best way to listen is to empty our cups. Yun si Jackie Chan. Because otherwise, if your cup is full, and you may not have room for you to absorb new insights and new guidance from our mentors. So pasalamat ta because on this team, we have a lot of mentors. Next is empower people. Empower people, so don't pretend that probably resigning from DepEd, in respect to our speaker previously, resigning to DepEd is the best way plan ever. No? Para nako, I see DepEd as an opportunity for me to grow and to convince people to be a believer of USANA.
Yes.
Why? Because I have a circle of influence over them. In my capacity as the education program specialist for the DepEd Cebu Province, except cities, because the cities, they do have their own division office, we have a potential of 21,000 teachers all over the Cebu Province. And we have a potential which I am in charge for the regulatory functions of tuition fee increase and permits and recognition for private schools of over 226 private schools all over the province. Just imagine if we do random sampling in research and we could probably do 20% of just 200, how many would probably be a believer of USANA? 20% of 200. Probably 40. And if I could convince them to join USANA, what would be my rank then? Kulbaan ng taan mo, ha? Kulbaan taan. But I take the challenge. Puhon. We adapt change. Now we see change as a positive way possible. As compared to the venue before, I see the venue here in Waterfront to be convincing. Yes. Yes, mo okay. Yes. And I see it as an opportunity as well that you can convince people because of the ambience. Yes. But aside from the fact that we offer food and drinks, etc., no, that's secondary. And of course, last but not the least is we develop another leader. Inside your team, you develop another leader. Can we do that?
Yes.
Yes!
So in USANA, there's no monopoly of knowledge. You always have to pass the throne next to you. And there's potential sa ligi ng tawhana. And there is no better teacher than experience. You agree?
Yes.
Kanahan ko na, sir, nga, Cobra energy drink. Okay, I'd like to share then with Edgar Dale on Cone of Learning because we are from time to time training people. So I'd like to share this with you that probably might help you in your quest for believers for USANA. So ningon si Edgar Dale on the Cone of Learning, if we do lecture, what is the retention of learners? 5%. So kani magnani rata. Lecture, that's only 5%. And that is only good for auditory learners. Kana bitang ibawan na nimo nga mga auditory na sila nga learners. Kana magsige kag present sa slide nimo, na dili ko na matanaw sa imong slide, magliraw-liraw ra na siya. Nakailan na mo ani nila? O 5% lang na sila ilahang retention. But if you do visual, kani mga visual learners, they do have 10% for reading. So that's magazines, brochures, reading materials, the marketing materials that is presented to you, that is given to you upon enrollment. Reading alone would only constitute 10% sa retention. Is it an eye-opener?
Yes.
Unya, 20% ang giingon nila nga di-share audio and visuals. So it's a mix, it's a blended audio and visuals. Kaya nakibuhat ka rin, di-share it on multimedia. That's only 20% of retention. But if you do demonstration, that's 30%. And if you do discussion, when there is interaction between audience and you, that is 50%. And if you ask them to practice, but of course you cannot ask them, you cannot teach what you do not know. You agree? You cannot preach what you do not know. No?
Yes.
So saan man nimo pag ako ni practice na lang ko ni istorya na lang ko diri because I am a good soldier. And Mentor Ranel asked me yesterday, nga, kana mag-talk ka ugma. So I said yes, mentor. No? So ana ra gyud siya. So kung i-believe siya nako, nga wala ko believe sa kung problem wala ko diri, no? So 75% of practice and doing. And when you let others teach others, that's the ultimate passion of USANA, and that is when you are building leaders among leaders. And that is 90%.
Wow.
So, kaning mga kinesthetic, kaning sa kilid, bitang mailhan na nimo, kinsa ang mga kinesthetic, kanang imuhang diskasan o USANA, diskasan nimo kong plan, unya magsigig lakaw-lakaw, mag-add to table, to another table, kailan naman na nila? So, these are the potential people because according to Edgar Gale, these are kinesthetic ones and they are most likely to be with USANA for the next 50 years. Kinsa mo itong mga, hanipin itong mga kinesthetic sa mga maestra pa, gano'n may mga teachers din, no? Kinsa mga teachers, di isang kamot, dagan kayo ito ganina. Unsa ganin yung mga kinesthetic, ma'am, sa pinulungang Bisaya? Mga lihukan, kiatan, kanang so what pa ka dito? Tanong nyo, ito naman dito galit. Balitok-balitok naman sa mga kinesthetics, no? Yung mga visuals, kanang mga malayo ang tingin, no? Pero galibog ka kung sige pang tanaw. So you can use this one in the guide in your quest for believers in USANA. At least it was also, this is not a guaranteed tool, but this would serve as a guide for you to be able to catch your attention. Uy, nga naman yung wang gini siya naminaw, nga lamig naman kanya mga slides. So probably, the class of learners, probably you are not on the right track. Probably ang imong nadala auditory, na maminaw rin na siya. Ang oban visual, dili maminaw pero matang-matang sa slide. Ang kinesthetic, di na sila maminaw usaha eh. Di mo na sila matang-aw, kasi lang yun na sila ato CR. Nakita naman nila. Ilhan na nimo, no? These are kinesthetic kind of people. So, in closing, I would like to say that the true measure, because I too myself enjoy failure, because I did not actually succeed with USANA in 2018, 2019, but for sure, I was a believer and I was a sure believer and a user of USANA. So the true measure of success is how many times you can bounce back from failure.
Yes.
Okay? And I would like to leave this hall with the mantra. Who are Jesenians here? USJR graduates. Oh, kamay-kamay na lang, no? 1, 2, 3. So I'd like to leave Tiora Tendo Adelante. In this quest for excellence, we always aim for the best. Adelante, move forward. May gabi ka na pala.